welcome to day 4 of an old man on the Pennine Way again. They're rather reduced days for me at the moment because I had a spare day. I've used it. I'm just about to go over the M62, is it? M62 bridge. None of this was here when I was here in '64. This was just open moor. In fact, just here it was so misty that the mast there, I couldn't see that mast from here. So it's a bit different today. So I'm going to go over the bridge. I won't be talking much because I don't think you'll be able to hear anything. It's Saturday morning early, but there's still quite a lot of traffic on it. But last night it's absolutely packed full, and I could hear the roar of the motorway over the top of the hill over there, about 2 miles away. So we're going down here. I won't be speaking much, but I'll video me going across the bridge. That's the bridge. It's quite an impressive bridge, really. That's looking back at Windy Hill transmitter aerial where I started. I'm about halfway up to Blackstone Edge, I guess. Fortunately, it's all these slabs, which mean you can set a pace and keep going. So I've just about got to the top of Blackstone Edge. That's probably the last sight I'll have of where I left from, the transmitter station. So I'm just going up here. I actually can't be bothered to jump across the trig point. Not with the camera in my hand anyway. But pretty impressive views. So there's the trig point. And just in the distance there you can see Stoodley Pike and some of the reservoirs I've got to walk around today. I've come along Blackstone Edge. I've reached the egging stone. I can see Stoodley Pike over there, but there's no way GoPro will pick it up. So I've now got to go down here, which is an old Roman road, for a while, then turn off right. Okay, so the stone at the top of this was called the Aegon stone, which is an old waymarker, I think. This is meant to be an old Roman road, but with a groove down the middle, which they think was for breaking into. So the groove here, my foot's just in it there, that's the groove, and they think that was some crude way of breaking vehicles or wagons as they went down the hill. Marjorie, who did the original survey of Roman roads, mentioned this, and he was convinced it was Roman. I noticed subsequent guidebook writers have all questioned it and said the paving is certainly not Roman. I don't know whether I trust the guidebook writers or Marjorie. If I find another decent bit of groove down the middle, I'll take some more photos of it. Okay, so I'm just about to turn off. It's certainly the Roman road that went from Ilkley to Manchester. Whether this surface is Roman, I have no idea. But there's just as I reach the end of it, there's a good bit of the groove of the drain, the ditch down the middle there. And you can see it's actually been worn as if something had been dragged in it, which is why they think they perhaps attach logs to carts or put a braking pole down into that groove to slow them down on the way down there. I'm now going along that drainage ditch. So that's the White House pub, which everyone goes to, but it's only 10 o'clock, so I'm not. When we came past here last time, it would have been the afternoon, and in 1967 pubs used to have very limited opening hours, so I wouldn't have had a pint, but I could have certainly done with some light drink. And the other thing about pubs in those days is that very few of them did food. You went into a pub to drink, you didn't go in to eat. If you were lucky, they sold crisps. If you weren't lucky, they didn't. So my walk, I think, is along the top of that's a reservoir dam behind the pub, and I think it goes along the top there. So I've got to work my way up to the top and round along four reservoirs. So that's the first reservoir, Blackstone Edge Reservoir. Back across the dam wall, White House pub, Pennine Way disappearing through the quarry at the back. I've been walking along the reservoir paths for about half an hour, I guess, and I've just reached Light Hassels reservoir, which is that one there, and I carry straight on along that road there. Okay, so that's the end of the walk along the reservoirs, which do seem to go on for forever. Last time I did that, it was in the mist and rain, and it went on even further. So that's where I've come from, all the way alongside the reservoirs there. And from now on, I think we're back onto the open moor. I've been going on these slabs now for 15 minutes, I guess, heading towards Stoodley Pike behind me. So I'm going that way. I tend to turn around to face into the sun. I think it's about another half an hour to get to Stoodley Pike. Rumour has it that it never gets any nearer, no matter how close you get. Well, I've reached the turn off to Mankinhold's Youth Hostel, which is down there, I think. In 1967, Mankin Holes Youth Hostel was where we stayed for our third night, and this was something of a red letter day for us, because until Mankin Holes, with the exception of Black Hill, we hadn't seen any scenery. It had been mist and rain the whole way, so the views that we've got today I hadn't seen at all. We went down to Mankin Holes, dried all our kit out, and it was like a different Pennine Way from there on, because we had lots of decent weather. I've just left Stoodley Pike. It wasn't for me. It's Saturday of a bank holiday weekend. There were low flying drones, ghetto blaster, and far too many people. So I'm going down the hills away and find somewhere to sit and have lunch. What you get when you're a miserable sod like me. Just walking down this gorgeous warm lane down to, I think it's Callis Bridge. The amount of effort put into these walls. Each of these stones looks shaped. It's not even rough stone walling. They're shaped stones. Still descending along the same path. It's very warm. I'm on this lovely paved lane. The only problem is it's too hot and the lane's too steep. Yeah, any other weather it'd be gorgeous. Still, carry on. Climbing out of the Colden Valley up to Royd, and just opposite me is Stoodley Pike, where I've just come from. I'm getting towards the top of the valley, I hope. There's really quite an interesting structure here. Looks like an old mill race of some description. Just going down into Hebden Hole, having climbed out of the Colden Valley, thank goodness. That's something that I don't have to do when I start on the next day. So I'm going down to this, there's a little ancient bridge in the bottom here. Going down a very interesting little path here. Dry stone wall on both sides, and about half a metre of room to put your feet. I'm just crossing over the River Colden, the Colden Clough, and this is called Hebden Hole. It's obviously a place where the people go swimming in bank holidays, because they're all here now. This is a very old bridge, and at some stage the trees to there, one of them fell down and broke the stone I'm standing on, and they were talking about replacing it with concrete, I think, but in the end they spent many thousands of pounds to get the original pieces repaired and put back here. That's well worth it, because it's one of the most gorgeous bridges there is.